Bronchoscopy.
No More Room in Hell is a game that I've wanted to dedicate something to, at least in part, since the day I first played it. Looking back nearly 10 years, I was never quite sure just what it was about this source mod that I found so compelling. Honestly, I'm not sure I'll ever know just what it is that captured my attention to the point of wanting to make this video, but I at least want to try, so that's what this video is, me trying to put out there what I love about this game, because even over a decade after its release, there's still so much about this game that I think deserves recognition. I think it'd be a shame to let all that's great about it just rot away unseen alongside the Fortnite core audience. Maybe this video is just me indulging my 2016 dream of being a Pyrocynical clone. I mean, I'm literally doing a video essay on a Half-Life mod, but the thoughts I intend to put across in this video are meaningful to me, and I believe a record of them is worthwhile. So, as George Romero said, when there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth. No More Room in Hell is a cooperative first-person survival horror video game that was first released on October 31st, 2011. Yes, an early 2010 zombie game. I understand this is a hard sell, but give me a chance. It'll be worth it, I promise. Also, it was released before Cry of Fear, so in the never-ending competition between pseudo-intellectuals on this platform to make a video on the oldest game, I'm making a strong start. The mod was developed by a relatively small team, I mean nowhere near as small as Psychscalar, the team behind the aforementioned Cry of Fear, but still small by your average AAA studio standards. I mean look, from what I can gather, the dev team had about 50 people, 17 of which being playtesters, so not tiny, but you know, not exactly GTA 6 development, right? As I said, it was first released in 2011, but I myself picked it up 3 years after release, so let's take a trip back 9 years. The year is 2014, and I have just got Steam. Great for me, however, the world is in the midst of a pandemic. Worse than any we've experienced before, a virus more infectious and more deadly than anything in recorded history, sweeping the West, is a plague known as Zombus infantis. Observed exclusively in children, symptoms include headaches, coughing, raging fever, and most frighteningly, a crippling addiction to any game that features a depiction of the undead. This disease seems to only affect the young and feeble-minded, and as a result, scores of underage children flock to any game where you can make the funny man's head go boom. I myself am no exception, of course, and having recently gotten my first device capable of running more than Notepad at 12 FPS, I begin my search. My quest first brings me to Call of Duty, of course, and I think to myself, perfect. My friends are talking about it, and I'm sure I could make some exquisite contributions to intellectual discussions in this game chat feature. But what's that costs, money? No worries, let's see what I'm working with.
I'm out.
Well, seems like that option's out. Time to try the poor man's best friend. What's this? A free game called No More Room in Hell? Well, let's give it the test. Zombies? Check. Guns? Check. Well, that's kind of the criteria for me gameplay-wise, honestly. So, yeah, let's just get it.
Come, young Norseman. There is much more to behold.
Didn't you say I had unlimited access to the...
Now, I would love to say I spent the rest of the day enjoying everything the game had to offer. But, yeah, my download speed wasn't exactly the best, so that had to wait until the next day. Finally, I'm home from school, and the game's about done downloading. I'm good to go. So, I load it up, spend an admittedly embarrassingly long amount of time figuring out how to actually play, finally get it, pick a random map, and I have nothing. Well, that's not strictly true. I have a lighter. Not exactly the best zombie killing piece of weaponry though, is it? Taking it in at a glance, I'm in a dimly lit, rundown room. One of the only doors I can see is barricaded shut. I have nothing to defend myself with, and worst of all, I am all alone. Absolutely and unequivocally alone. Now, you'll notice I slipped partially into the present tense whilst writing that last segment, and quite honestly, that's simply because the memory is just so vivid. The uncertainty and anxiety I felt from this first experience as a kid petrified of anything to do with horror was nothing short of incredible. It's almost like I can relive that moment in time, even now. And for a game to leave such a strong, lasting impression on me, after all the games that I've played, all the hours I've poured into this hobby of mine, that's something really special. Writing this now, 9 years later, I remember that moment so well. I remember thinking, where's my loadout?
You're making me mad! Fucking mad!
Aren't I supposed to spawn in with, well, something? Remember, this was in the days before Fortnite, so spawning in with nothing didn't have quite the same place in games as it does now. I started pressing random keys to pull out my weapon that surely I had somewhere, but yeah, no. No pistol, no bat, not even the UK Youth Standard Issue Service weapon. I had nothing. In hindsight, I think spending all this time trying to find some magic key to pull out a weapon I knew wasn't really there was just my way of distracting myself from what I had already realized. I was going to have to press on without the safety net of a weapon. I get deeply immersed in games, which is great for engaging more profoundly with an experience, but I'm also a coward who likes to feel in control at all times, so this uncertain starting point really threw me to begin with. Accepting my current situation, I had to do something. I couldn't just sit here all day. So, as much as I hated it, I started to move around and survey my surroundings more closely. Before, I had just cast my eye over it, but now I was looking, really looking. This was both a good thing and a bad thing. Good, because, reassuringly, I began to notice a small collection of supplies strewn across the room.
That's well done. That is well done, so stop bringing me shit!
Including weapons, a flashlight, ammunition, and the like. But also bad, because I began to take notice of smaller, more unsettling details about the room. For one, the door I had seen first was blocked by wooden boards that crisscrossed the frame haphazardly, as if they had been put in place hurriedly, blocking out an imminent threat that could still very well be nearby. Another door to my right, seemingly not barricaded at all. Was it reinforced from the outside? Or, if I tried to open it, would it swing open to reveal a horde just inches away? As I'm sure you can already tell, I have somewhat of an overactive imagination that games like this absolutely play into. But the point is, I knew nothing, so I was second guessing what to do right from the get-go. To the left of the first door, however, was one that was already open, revealing some stairs that led, well, up. And, seeing that as the safest option, I gathered some of the supplies that littered the ground, and armed with ye old trusty hatchet, proceeded up. I took it slow at first, checking my tight surroundings carefully, but, reasoning that I was probably safe in the starting room, quickly gained confidence and sprinted through the next floor. Rounding a corner, I saw my first glimpse of natural light, and like a moth to a flame, made a beeline for it. This decision at first seemed brilliant, because emerging outdoors for the first time atop this building, I found what I wanted most, a gun. I hurried over to pick it up, and for just a moment I thought, hey, maybe I'm ready. But, peering over the edge, catching my first glimpse of what awaited me just outside my haven, I realized I had been baited. Not only did I see more zombies outside than I thought there could have been, they saw me too. Blinded by the promise of a more reliable weapon, I had without a second thought alerted a whole street as to my whereabouts, and now they wanted in. Fortunately for me, the door the zombies all gravitated towards looked to be the barricaded one, and it seemed to hold up. I could see them pressed right up against the door, but going downstairs to inspect more closely, it wasn't buckling or anything. For now at least, I was safe. And that's when I put my headphones on for the first time. Look, I said it earlier, I'm a coward. I'm not denying that. Spooky noises get to me, alright? The effect the addition of audio had on the entire experience, though, was beyond what I thought possible. The initial silence was unnerving enough, but the groans and dragging footsteps of zombies just outside the door, underscored by an ambient soundscape both eerie and bleak in equal proportion, elevated the experience as a whole to new heights. Despite being even more on edge than I was just moments before, the sound did bring some minor comfort. I now had concrete confirmation that the large group of zombies I had seen from above was in fact right outside this particular door.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
However, I quickly realized that this newfound information created an ultimatum of sorts. One way or another, I had to leave this room. That much was certain. The only question was, how? Do I open the door with God knows how many zombies right on the other side? Or the door that could swing open to reveal anything? At first the choice seems obvious, right? I'd be an idiot to knowingly welcome a small militia of the undead into my safe house. But, on the other hand, like I said, I have no idea what lies beyond the other door. It seems unlikely, as I can't hear anything, but it may even be worse. So, what was it? A or B? Left or right? Certainty or the unknown? Well, for me, there was only one choice. It had to be the first door. Yes, the odds seemed grim, but at least I knew what I was getting myself into. Right?
How do you think your God will judge you? Well, friends, now we know. When there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
Yep, that was it. I mean, what did you expect? Some action movie ending where against all odds I survive a seemingly hopeless situation? That's not what this game is about. This game is about being smart and proceeding cautiously, and I wasn't cautious enough. My first experience perfectly captures the essence of No More Room in Hell, and if I could go back, I wouldn't change a thing. When I opened that door, I thought I knew what I was facing. But really, I had no idea. I didn't know how fast my stamina would run out when swinging, or that the swings themselves wouldn't outright result in a kill if poorly placed. I didn't know that ammo is such a scarcity that any and all shots must be carefully measured and cannot be wasted firing wildly. I somehow didn't even know that there were pistols lying literally under my feet in the very area I spawned in. Nor did I know that making use of those pistols would have served me far better in this close quarters environment when compared to the awkward and clunky rifle I had chosen to rely on. There's a lot of things I didn't know. I was ill-informed and ill-prepared. That's why I died. And that's also why I love this game. Thanks for watching. This was my first experience making a video, so there's probably a lot of errors that I've completely overlooked. So feel free to leave feedback. I'd love to hear what I can improve upon. And if you try the game after seeing this, let me know if you like it just as much as I do. I had a lot of fun making this video, and I plan on making a part 2 very soon. This first episode was mostly meant to introduce the game to you by sharing the way it was introduced to me. After all, my initial experience has left such an enduring impact on me that without it, I probably wouldn't be making the video in the first place. So it seemed like a good place to start. In episode 2, I'll be going more in depth regarding the gameplay mechanics, audio design, and of course, the impact George Romero and his films had on the game. So, if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, feel free to subscribe and stick around for whenever that releases. Have a good one, everybody.
Sticking out your yacht for the Riddler. You're so skibbity. You're so fancy.